All right, we're continuing in Koine Greek. That is the Greek as is found in the New Testament. The New Testament is written in Koine Greek. And this morning, we're going to begin by looking at manuscripts, because there are many manuscripts that have been found in the ancient past. Some of them are going to be complete. Some of them are going to be missing some pages or sections. Some will be fragments. That just happens. Okay, now first off, we're going to talk about uncial. And uncial is a style of writing that was, you're going to find these around in the 200s, going into somewhere in the 300s, maybe 400s. An uncial is in all caps, and there are no spaces between the words. Okay, that makes it a little difficult if you don't speak or read Greek. That makes it very difficult if you're unskilled at it. But if you already have that skill, it's easy. All right, it's not difficult at all. It's not difficult. All right, it's in all caps. There are no spaces. Now, I want to show you what I've done. I've done it all in all caps. You've already done some of you have completed the first line. If you came up a little closer, you might be able to read it a little bit better. But it is the former account I made, O Theophilus. Yeah, I forgot to tell you that words can fall over to the next line. Of all that Jesus began both to do and teach until the day in which he was taken up. After he, through the Holy Spirit, had given commandments to the apostles whom he had chosen, to whom he also presented himself alive after his suffering by many infallible proofs, being seen by, and that's all I could fit on there. All right, so you got it. All right. So, but what I'm going to show you is going to look, well, that's impossible. But when it's in your language, you got it. All right. How long would it take you to read that? Well, it didn't take us very long to figure out what was going on, especially when I told you what was going on. But it didn't take very long. And if you already have a familiarity, if you have a familiarity with the language, plus you also have a familiarity with the biblical text, all right, that puts you up a few notches there. But we're looking here. This is the Codex Sinaiticus. It is from around 325 to 360 A.D. It's called Sinaiticus because it was found at a long time ago, but kept at a monastery at the base or around Mount Sinai. And so that's why it's called that. And this isn't the best sort of image because I tried to blow it up and it's on the fuzzy side. Not the best thing. But I've got, and aside from that, I tried to figure out what this was. I tried, because I can see some words, but it's not telling me where this is, what book this is. It's not telling me. And so I tried for a while, only to find out, it's in Esther. Okay, I wasn't looking at Esther. I wasn't looking at Esther at all. This would be, it would have not only the New Testament in it, but it also has the Septuagint as well. And so it would be the complete biblical text. And now I've got another section. Yeah. Codex, yes. A codex is this. A codex is a book. You've heard of a scroll? A book is technically a codex. This is I don't know. It's, I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, it may be. It may be Latin. But yeah, a codex is in fact a book as opposed to a scroll, as opposed to just a flat piece of clay that you can't roll up or fold. And but now I've got another image here that is much clearer, and this also is from Codex Sinaiticus, and this is just from Luke 11, 2 and 3. It's just a zoom up on there, and you may notice that you have that, and you have that. What does that look like? C. Okay, yeah. In Greek, there is no C, but there are different styles. That's actually a sigma. That's not the older sigma. This is coming like a couple hundred years or 100 years or more. And so things do change as far as this is concerned. And that can throw you. But it's all, of course, it's all written together. You can see pi at the very top, pi alpha tau epsilon rho alpha. Petra, oh, I'm sorry, not Petra, pater, and that is, ending with the rho, pater, there, here it is, I put it down here, that is father, and this is Hagais Theto, that it is holy, your name is holy, is what is that. And then you have your kingdom is to come. All right, it's coming in the future. So, well, it's in the process of arriving anyway. And so, yeah, this is now. Here's another thing about when you're dealing with manuscripts, and this is a completely different study, but it's something to be aware of, that there are things in certain manuscripts that might be missing. And never is it anything, I'm just going to say this, as far as any kind of error or any kind of omission or any kind of thing like that. This is the reason why we have many, many copies. You look at what all the copies are saying, because somebody can get it wrong. Someone also can make a blunder, toss it in the garbage can, and it stays, and not a literal garbage can, but toss it away to where it's meant to be garbage, and perhaps it's going to be used for something else, and as things turned out, it's not. And it stays there for centuries, and it's found with the blunder. That just happens. That just happens. But we have lots and lots of texts that we can, and there's an entire study on that, entire science on that, of we're looking at the various texts. And you can find in, especially such as comparing the Old King James with the American Standard 1901, that you will find things in the 1901 or missing in the 1901 that's not in the King James 1611. And the reason is they're using different texts, different manuscripts is what they're doing, and some trust this manuscript and for their own reasons. Others will trust a group of manuscripts and their agreement and for their reasons. And but all these things, there's no ancient book in the world that has as many copies as the Bible, bar none. Not even close. The writings of Homer, not even close. All right. just name whatever ancient book, whatever ancient text, whatever it is, you will not find more copies than are available concerning the Bible. Now, I just want to show you, this is a fragment. This is called the Chester Beatty Papyri, and it's Papyrus 47. Once again, an unsealed text. And this is a Revelation fragment, is what it is. And I mean, it's time. Time takes its toll. Takes its toll. But this proves that by around 200 to 300 AD, you've got a recognizable book of Revelation. Very much so. And now I've got another one. This is the Ryland Papyrus, also P52 unsealed. This is a John 18:31 to 33 fragment. This is from about 100 to 150 AD. That's old. Now, let's just ask a question. If you have fragments of the biblical text at 100, if you have a fragment that says the following, you know, and you can identify it as the book of John, that tells you the book of John was around at this time and it was being copied. All right, because there are certain things that you can recognize right quick in it, in the reading. Now, I just want to show you for a second. This is John 18:31 to 33. What I have in red is what can be seen, or at least partial of these words can be seen on that fragment. And this is, I'm just going to show you. Then Pilate said to them, "You take him and judge him according to your law." Therefore the Jews said to him, "It is not lawful for us to put anyone to death, that the saying of Jesus might be fulfilled, which he spoke, signifying by what death he would die." Then Pilate entered the praetorium again, called Jesus and said to him, "Are you the King of the Jews?" Now, we go from there. Oh, yeah, and I want you to see this, because this is something we haven't talked about. Okay, so here is Pilate. Here's praetorium, going into his praetorium, and here's Pilate, and he calls for Christ, the Christ. Calls. I'm sorry, for Jesus, the Jesus. Literally is what it's saying. Calls for him and asks him, or says to him, "You are the King of the Jews." Now, one would think that's a statement, not a question. But it is a question because of this. Can you see what that is? Yeah, it's a semicolon. All right, we use semicolon for a different reason. But in Koine Greek, that is a question mark. All right, and so it is a question. You are the King of the Jews? What's that?
I said you put it the other side and said, "Are you the King?"
Correct. Which is what, if to put it in clearer English, you would do that. Which is, "Are you the King of the Jews?" Yeah. Which you do have to shift words around from language to language. You have to, because of syntax and to make it clear. Now, we just look at this. Here, I've done this, oi iodioi, that is the Jews, that's plural. The Jews, that's what we see right there. There we have Hain, or Hein, which is we. No, I'm sorry. Haman, that is we. Then Udina, or Udena, that is no one, which is, that's the last word of verse 31. And we come over here, Ina ha, and then we have a lambda for logos, that the word. And coming over here, we have the last part of Apin, Semanon, rather, which is said, indicating. And then we have the last word of verse 32 over here, which is apothneskain, which is would die. And then we have kai epin, which is and said. And we have the last of the word of praetorium, ha, and then the pi, the capital pi for Pilatos, which is Pilate. And that's enough for us to know where this came from. And it's like I said, if you know the biblical text, you would think, okay, that's kind of familiar. Now we're heading off to vocabulary. This morning we're going to do a couple of things here, and that is, and this is on your sheet. Didasko is a verb meaning I teach, and very much like we have in English, you have at least a portion of this word, didask, or didas anyway. That's going to that's like the stem of the word, and so we have didaskalos. That is a teacher. That is someone who does that. All right, it's the same stem, but now made into a noun. And then we have this, another noun, didake. Didake is teaching. And you see, these are similar to each other. We have that stem coming across from I teach to teacher to teaching. Now we're going to do another one in the same sort of way. Gnosko. Gnosko means I know. And if you hear a similarity between gnosko and know, yeah, you're hearing it. That we are getting our word filtered down from Greek. Gnosko. And that is to know. And I think that in much older English, you did pronounce the K, kano. We dropped it. I don't know why. I don't know why, but we dropped it one way or another. But gnosko. Okay. Now, gnosis. Gnosis, that is knowledge. And as you can tell already, just by our own words, teach, teacher, teaching, we're following the same kind of elements. We're following the same kind of idea of where this is the root of it. And then whatever is added on the end changes what it is. But okay, so I know and knowledge keeps that same stem of the word, the same base. Now we come to this thalassa, which is see, and we have koinonia, which is fellowship, and a very important word, obviously. And here is doxazo, and that is I glorify. It can also mean to praise, I praise. Now we have ekklesia, which is the church, and we have, I put this one up here, ichthus, which is fish. All right, now, you have seen it, and you may not have known why it was, but no doubt you have seen this. It has a very, very ancient past. That is going to the Roman Empire, okay? The beginnings of the church, and that is that's ichthus. Okay? Ichthus. And use it as the first letters for Iesus, Christos, Theou, Weos, Soter, which means Jesus Christ, God's Son, Savior. And that was when there was heavy persecution in the Roman Empire, and that would be like a code. It would be to discover another Christian who would actually know what any of that meant. And of course you have the fish sign, which was to identify that you are a Christian. And simply because of the Greek word ichthus. Now, just quickly, last week I was asked concerning accent marks, and yeah, let's look at it a little bit clearer. And this is the acute accent marks. You're going to see accents only on vowels. They'll never be on a consonant. They're only on vowels. And so this is the acute. It is heading toward the right. You can see jutting toward the right. This is the grave. It is jutting down from the left. And this is circumflex. Now here's circumflex. It doesn't matter which one. They're both the same thing. Sometimes you will see a text that it might have that, another text that it might have that. They are the same. There's no difference in these. It's just different style. And even if you play around with fonts, that it can with Greek fonts, you can go from that one to that one just by changing the font. All right, they are the same. Nothing different in them. Now we're going to take a quick look to show the power of what the biblical text is telling us. All right, and this is just a look at Greek scripture, and this is the biblical description of marriage. We're going to look at 2 verses in this and 2 different words to show you how different they are. And it's going to help define what marriage is. It's not the only way, not the limitation of it, but we go to 1 Corinthians 7:39. A wife is bound by law as long as her husband lives, but if her husband dies, she is at liberty to be married to whom she wishes, only in the Lord. Okay, now we come to this. This is it in Greek. So, gune is woman or wife. Didatai, that is bound. She is bound. That is for as long as as long as chronon, as long as that would be the time her husband lives. All right, and then didatai. That's the word we want to focus on, is bound. That there is a binding that is in marriage. It is husband and wife are bound together. All right, didatai. I'm not going to do the rest of the verse because there's no need at this moment. But we look at this, that it is gune didatai. And this is a verb that is perfect. Perfect means it is past action which has results in the present. It is passive, that she is bound by marriage, is bound. She's not binding anything. She's bound by marriage. Her husband's not binding anything either. That it is marriage that is doing the binding. And we can change this to einer didatai, that the husband is bound. It is the same thing. And this comes from deo, which means I buy or bind or I tie. That is the meaning of that. And we are bound in marriage. Marriage is There's you are bound contractually. You can think of that, bound legally. That you have, you each have responsibilities in the marriage and to each other. But for anyone that wants to say that the Bible is teaching something greater than this, or I should say worse than this, then they simply don't know. Now we go to 1 Corinthians 7:15, because this is what we're going to talk about. 1 Corinthians 7:15, but if the unbeliever departs, let him depart. A brother or a sister is not under bondage, but this is a different word. It's not using the deditai. This is dedulotai. That's a different word. It's from dulao, which that's a different verb. That's a different word. And it means I enslave. That here is a different condition. This is a different condition. A brother or sister is not under bondage in such cases. That is to be enslaved or enslavement, which is showing us the difference in, the true marriage, what marriage is, the bonds that are there, and their limits. There's a limit that deditai is to be bound, but dulao is to enslave. That we are bound to each other, but we're not slaves to each other. And what would be the meaning in this? Well, in 1 Corinthians 7:15, that no spouse has the right or the power or the leverage or the authority to have their spouse, their husband, their wife, leave the church for their pleasure, leave the church because on their demand, that would be enslavement. That's a different kind of relationship. That's different altogether. That we're not under this. Now, with one in the English, bound and bondage sounds very similar, but in the Greek it's not. In the Greek you have two distinct words that are here. Yes, both of them begin with delta, eta, delta, but marriage happens to be this, deditai, and not this, dedulotai. It's never that at all. Now, we go into something that may come off as a bit heavy, but we're going to just kind of look at it because I want you to see what's happening. And this, I made mention of this last week. Greek nouns. The Greek nouns have case. We don't really do that. They have number. We do that, whether it's singular or plural. They have gender. We really don't do that. Male, female, okay, that is gender. But we say the man, the woman, and the word "the" didn't change. All right, under Greek and under a lot of other languages, the word "the" does change. In Spanish, it changes. But we are much more simplified than this. But in the cases, and we are doing only one. This is called the declension. Yeah, it's a kind of a big word, but we're doing the second declension only. We're doing masculine nouns only and singular nouns only, and that's it. There are 3 different declensions. We're doing the second declension, and there's also the masculine plural. There's the feminine singular plural. There's the neuter singular plural. All right, so it gets kind of complicated. But I just want to show you this, that we have case. We have the nominative case, genitive, ablative, dative, locative, instrumental, accusative, vocative. Each of these has a purpose. All right? The case. A noun's case adds information into a single word. It may function as a preposition to the noun. It may denote the noun as the direct object or indirect object, or that the noun is being addressed. They are using, they're putting more into one word than what is in English. And in fact, can have an understanding that there is a preposition such as from the man without having the word from. You didn't need that preposition, not in Greek. You can put it in there, and they will put it in, but not all the time, because you don't have to. So in the nominative case is called designation. Okay, what is that? That is the naming of the noun. All right? The man went to the store. All right, the man is the subject. That is in the nominative case. That I am naming who the subject is, not what. And actually, it's going to be what the man does. All right, the man went to the store. All right, we get to the genitive case. The genitive case is more descriptive. That would be of the man. Now, there are other things that can come in, such as with some of these, there's more nuances to it and more complications to it than what we're getting here. But basically, with the genitive case, it's of the man. Ablative is separation from the man. Dative is interest with or to the man. Locative is location or position, and we're using man as we could change that now. We can take it to fish, all right, and it'd be the same thing, of the fish, from the fish, with the fish, okay. But we're using the noun man. Locative is location or position in the man. Instrumental, that is means by the man. The man is the one that did it. He's the instrument in which it did it. In the man, that's the location of the bullet is in the man, I guess. That's the location. Accusative is limitation. That is the man. That has a lot of other things with it. And then you have vocative, which is address. The address of calling someone man. Look here. All right, we'll see some things. So this is ha anthropos. This is literally the man at the moment. That's nominative is what that is. We'll look right over here. Nominative, ha anthropos. And we have in all this, Luke 23:6. Here we have ha anthropos over here. That's in the nominative. Pilatos, that is Pilate. Now, we would say when he heard, that is akousos, he heard, when Pilate heard these things about the man, when he heard these things about the man, when he heard that the man is from Galilee. All right, ha anthropos is that is accused. Of course, he's talking about Christ. When he heard that Christ was referred to here as the man, that the man was Galilean. Okay, and so here is that nominative case. Now we have genitive case, that is of the man. To anthropou means of the man. And we're changing the ending now from os to u, and notice that the article also changed from ha to tu. All right, and this is in the genitive case, the Son of Man. All right, that is man now in the genitive case of man. And you wouldn't, in English you wouldn't say the man. You would just say the Son of Man. This is the ablative to anthropou again. This is from the man, yet there's some repeats, and you'd have to know. My best is to know by context, if it's genitive or ablative. You have dative, to anthropo, that's to the man, and we have a locative in the man, to anthropo again, instrumental, to anthropo, by the man, accusative, the man, and this is not by, it did not come by man. Okay, and that's Galatians 1 and 11. And this is in the accusative. It didn't come from man here. And now we have the vocative, which is, like I was saying, that is, there is no article in this one. You're just addressing, in this case, it would be man, calling someone man. It's the vocative. You wouldn't say the man. You wouldn't call, it'd be weird for me to call you the man. You'd just say man. Okay, so anthrope, and that means man. And here in Luke 12:14, this is Jesus speaking directly to a man. He's not calling him by name. He's anthrope, tisme, katestasin. Okay, so who made me judge and arbiter over you, and that's plural. That would be him and his brother, but it is that plural with humas. And so now I just want to show concerning all of this together, how it works. This is on the sheet that you got last week. It's showing how it all works. The ha anthropos, to anthropou, and then we come down to to anthropo, and then to ton anthropon, and yeah, it does rhyme. All right, and just showing the articles in this. The only one that, like in the nominative, you have ha, and the ending of the word is oth, such as anthropos. All right, it's not, the article is not omicron sigma. It's just omicron, and it's ha, then to and u, to and o, ton and on, and the vocative has no article. It just ends in an epsilon. Now I want to show you a rather important verse that is showing the genitive case. This is anama, is actually accusative. It serves as the direct question. Direct object. In the name of, this is your genitive, to patros, kai, to huios, kai, to hagiou, pneumatos. All right? In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy, hagiou, Holy Spirit, pneumatos. And that is in the genitive case. Now you may see that to and patros, shouldn't that be patru? I can't, there's some things going on I cannot explain just yet. That's a deeper thing. But you'll know to huiou and to hagiou. They are sharing the same omicron upsilon. But this is showing how it works, and it does not have anywhere in this. It does not have your prepositions. We've got to have the prepositions. That in the name of the Father. Whereas in this, it's not. It has none of those prepositions because it's showing those in the noun itself. Okay, we are done for today. We are done for today, and appreciate everybody being here.